Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
What? Dude. Fish on.
This is Andy Rowe from RowPaint.com. If you've thought about finishing your garage floor, patio, or business, give us a call. We have dozens of floor coating options to fit a variety of budgets and tastes. From polishing to stone finishes, decorative chips, and more, RowPaint.com is the largest applicator of specialty coatings in the Treasure Valley. Let the official coatings company of the Broncos bring you a 5-star experience and product.
My husband and I are like, we should have done this sooner, and it really changes your garage. Like your garage is just so much cleaner, and it stays so much cleaner. I'm not really sure how that's possible, but it does, and it's literally my favorite room in our house right now. I would definitely recommend Row Paint to my friends, family, and neighbors. The outcome was amazing. The process was amazing. Row Paint was so awesome, and I am highly impressed, and I would use them for other things as well.
RowPaint.com. Power in people, pride in painting.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Welcome on into a Tuesday edition, here, Bronco Nation News Live at BroncoNationNews.com. Jay Tust going to join us shortly for a Taco Bell Tuesday here at BroncoNationNews.com. We're going to talk about the North End Zone project that's going on at Boise State. They gave some media members an update of that yesterday. And we're going to continue our countdown, number 24 on our list. We're looking at Breezy, Dubar, and Sire Gaines and the backup running spot. What should be expected of them? What do you think should be expected? Who's your RB2 next year? How do you feel about Sire Gaines and Breezy Dubar? Get your comments in the chat, and we'll make sure to get to those throughout the show here on YouTube. Only a couple of foursomes left for the golf tournament, by the way, if you're interested in getting in. I'm not really nervous about it. Don't need to push it. A couple weeks ago, I was hoping to get some more, but we're good. If we can get a couple more and sell it out, great. But would love to have you. But we're 58 foursomes now, I believe. We're in a great spot. We got like two or three left in the afternoon, 1 or 2 left in the morning. So if you're interested, we'd love to have you. And again, it's going to all go to the Idaho Youth Sports Commission. And again, I said this the other day, but if you make a donation, I'm hoping for $50, but if that's just a little too much for you, but if you can go, 30, 35, reach out to me, Rains at BroncoNationNews.com. We've got some tickets left for the pre-party. It's next Thursday, a week from Thursday. Leon Rice, Spencer Danielson, both doing a Q&A up on stage. It's going to be awesome, a lot of fun. We'll have some drinks, we'll have some food. Email me if you're interested in coming and you're able to make a donation. You can buy some tickets, and there'll be a little raffle there. We're going to raise some money for charity. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're not golfing in the tournament, or if you can't golf, but you are interested in coming to the pre-party event and helping support the Idaho Youth Sports Commission anyway, and getting a chance to mingle with Spencer Danielson, Leon Rice, and some others next Thursday, reach out to me, Rains at BroncoNationNews.com, and we can get you a ticket to come attend. Would love to meet some of you. Would love for you to get a chance to meet Spencer Danielson and Leon Rice and have a chance to hear a really exclusive, cool Q&A and be able to raise some money for the Idaho Youth Sports Commission. So again, that's next Thursday. I'll take your emails at Rains at BroncoNationNews.com. Then we have the tournament teeing off The morning group tees off at 8:30 on Friday. The afternoon group tees off at 1:30 on Friday. And again, we've got 58 foursomes. We had 30 in year one, up to 49 in year two, and now 58 in year three. So we continue to build this thing, and appreciate all the support that we've gotten from the group, and also from folks like Jay Tust, sports director at KTVB. I know always a big hit for fans and folks to get a chance to come say hello to Jay and see him. And Jay, I know last time you were on, we talked about the golf tournament. A question came in after the show was over, or I missed it. Folks really enjoyed the how snug your shirt was last year with the muscles kind of sticking out, and folks were wondering if they were going to see that shirt again this year.
How do I even respond to that? I don't know. Probably something similar, but.
And I 100% can promise you we can find. I'm not making that up. That was someone said they enjoyed the guns popping out last year, and they were wondering if that was going to return.
Oh, I don't even know how to answer that question.
Hopefully so.
A lot of my shirts fit snug around the arms. It just is what it is.
Well, the Atkinsons kicked you out for Mike Burns this year, so we're going to find you a more fun group to play with anyway. But let's see. Rudy says golfing in the tournament, can't golf, or not mutually exclusive. Derek Morales says that someone was Winston Venable. I don't think Winston was the one calling you out, but maybe it was.
Winston. I doubt it's him.
Yeah. But no, next Friday, going to be a lot of fun. Next Thursday night, as I mentioned, the pre-party, the golf tournament on Friday. And, yeah, I mean, we're at 58 foursomes. So if you want to jump in, we'd love to have you. I know the Morales brothers are going to be out there helping. Our man Kip, a lot of BNN folks are going to be out there volunteering, helping out. We got a for the first time, we got Brooke Thompson and a couple softball players going to be driving a drink cart, Jay. That's going to be a new change this year. We got a couple gals from the mainline dancers helping us out as well. So we're going to have some drink carts and do things a little differently in terms of the drinks. And again, R&R Barbecue is going to have a full buffet. So going to be a lot of fun. And no, you know what? I don't know if that was Ball Game or not that asked the question. Creamy Cold Boys, he's wondering about that, but I wouldn't put it past him. But going to be a lot of fun. And again, that's next week, already here before we know it. It's crazy. So beautiful weather. And Jay, just try to get out and hit one bucket of balls before next Friday.
I'm going to do my best, man. I'm going to do my best. I was maybe going to try to even do that yesterday, but yeah, family came down with the flu at the same time. I don't wish that upon anybody, by the way. That was a rough night, but we're good now. So
yeah, and I wasn't sure if you wanted to bring that up or not, but you did have your family all got sick at the same time, and unfortunately, it was we know how that goes, but horrible timing because yesterday we did get a chance, a selected group of media members invited down to view some North End Zone projects. So you were on the list and should have been there, but you were sick, and so I'm not going to ask you to comment too much on the images you didn't see or the conversation you didn't hear. I hope you're feeling better from that, but I know just generally this North End Zone project is getting closer, and they're getting very close to making this thing a reality. And I just know that Cody Gogler and company took about 90 minutes to meet with us, and it was a great meeting. And I know that they're super excited about this project. And based on what you've heard and seen, and the renderings we saw, Jay, were even updated from like in the last week from Don Day's article, and they're newer and more polished and closer to being official. And I'll tell you what, man, fans are really, really going to enjoy this. And I know you're very, in close with what this project's going to be and stuff. And it's a redo of the North End Zone is going to be a game changer for this program.
Yeah, I mean, BJ, all you have to do, and we luckily get the chance to do this, is go around and see some of the other facilities and throughout the Mountain West, for that matter. And I know that Boise State, prides himself in being the class of the Mountain West, and they totally are in many ways. Most importantly, winning percentage. Since they joined the league, I believe they have 84 victories in conference play. The next closest has 69, and I believe it's San Diego State. So basically, if Boise State didn't win a conference game for the next 2 years and San Diego State didn't lose a conference game for the next two years, that's what it would take for the second place team to catch Boise State in terms of wins in Mountain West Conference play. Now, like I said, in terms of that, they are the class of the Mountain West. But when you travel around, when you do go to San Diego State, when you go to Colorado State, you can see that Boise State has, not necessarily in terms of atmosphere, because I think that we could all agree Boise State does have the best atmosphere, but when it comes to facilities, especially game day facilities, they're not the front runner right now in the Mountain West Conference. And so stuff like this is going to help them in that area, and it can only strengthen them on the field, in my opinion, as well.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff that they kind of explained to us, but asked us to kind of hold off until the official announcement happens. But I thought it was still Suzanne and Patrick and Cody, and I thought it was very nice at Boise State to explain it to us. So when this big press release comes out, we've already kind of had an idea of what this is and have a way to explain things to folks. And multiple levels in the clubs, and on the you're going to have some very similar areas to like a San Diego State or a Colorado State, where you kind of have a beer garden, so to speak, and just an area where you can hang out. And it's just going to be a very cool thing. And when the images come out, again, Don Day about a month ago, whatever, had a really good story about it, but they've even updated the images even more and polished them up. And whenever they get around to getting, crossing their T's and dotting their I's, they're going to get this thing out there. But they are pushing forward on this, and their goal is still the 2026 season to have this done after this upcoming season in 2024. Their goal is in, as early as January to put a shovel in the ground, start the construction. It's supposed to take about 16 months. And then be ready to go in hopefully the spring, summer of 2026 before the 26th season. And you're right, Jay. You talk about the other places we've been. I mean, this stadium is how many years old is Albertson / Bronco Stadium? I mean, it goes 100 years or whatever, right? I mean, we're way back in terms of the.
It's just been. It's basically just been. I mean, sometimes it's made such a big jump. It's hard to say this, but basically it's just been renovated, a number of times ever since, the initial foundation was laid. Right. So, it is, some of the bones are very, very old. I mean, you look at, a lot of these stadiums that are just, they have so many more accommodations, not only for, game day for the players and coaches, but really for just the fans, and how comforting it is to watch a game. It was hilarious, BJ, even going to the San Diego State game, which I know that Jeremiah Dickey, he was, I say this just because I know he's a busy man. He was even a little late to the pregame show interview we did with him, because he was going around getting a tour of San Diego State's stadium, and you walk away just kind of in awe. But one thing that I want to add to that is, like, I got lost in it, just trying to figure out how cool this thing was at times too. And I think one thing that was that I thought was interesting is, they have that. Did you go by the field level kind of suite, BJ, where they have a bunch of like the nice food, and then you can kind of walk out on that porch area right behind San Diego State's bench and watch the game?
Yeah.
Did you go down there?
Yes.
Okay, so right before halftime, in order to exchange, cards that we shoot off of and start editing, I go down there, and there are people just hanging out inside that place, not even watching the game necessarily. Like, that's how comforting and accommodating it was.
Yep.
So you have people that are paying whatever it was, $100 a ticket or some crazy amount, and they're not even really watching the game. That's how comforting that stadium was. And so to create something even close to that would be nice for Boise State, and it feels like they're well on their way. And
yeah, you mentioned tour in that facility. When we talked to Cody yesterday, he mentioned they went and talked to Utah, and they went to Washington.
Cody was all over. Like, I remember watching one time, he was in San Diego one day and Wisconsin the next. I mean, he was all over the place. And I guess the only reason why I brought up that Jeremiah thing too is just because, as you were just about to say, I'm sure they have put so much into this, man. Like, this is not just like a wing and a prayer. They have really put a lot of thought and effort into this.
Yeah. And again, it was kind of a background information, off the record type conversation. So we ain't going with putting too much off the record out there into the public. That hasn't happened before. But I will say, so I'm trying to be careful, Jay, I guess, in what we say. But they did say it was okay to say that we had the meeting and that folks should be excited about it. And again, someone did mention the foothills here. They did mention that was one of the things. There are no plans to kind of build higher. They wanted to make sure the foothills and downtown were still visible. I think future projects to the east side or the south end or the north end. Which end zone was the other end zone?
South.
The south end zone, I guess, could have 5-10 years down the road, could be the ones where they try to go bigger and better, and we'll see there. But there's new restrooms involved in this. They're not touching the east side of the stadium, Jay, it sounds like, but they are adding, at least in the corner, more restrooms and more concessions that will be accessed by the folks on the east side of the stadium to help relieve some of the congestion and things. So again, when the images come out, you guys are going to love them. You'll get more information. There's multiple levels in terms of the clubs, and as I said, it's a fairly exclusive club, and you got to make some donations and stuff. But there's going to be some areas open to the public like as well. And it's going to be very cool. And as I said on Twitter, I think it's a game changer for a school like Boise State in terms of the revenue generation. I mean, I think you saw it in Don Day's article. They're going from right now in the north end zone, averaging about $330,000 in revenue or gross revenue to well over $4 million is the projection with this project. So I know some folks may get their seats moved. The band's going to move. You know, there's some small things that folks are used to being in that end zone. But in the end, Jay, I mean, the revenue they're going to generate from this project is just too hard for a school like Boise State to ignore and pass up.
Yeah, somebody asked me about this just recently when we were talking about it, BJ, is that my thoughts on them, you know, taking a little bit of a dip in attendance. Is that a good or a bad thing? And I think that, like, yeah, initially you always want to be growing, but in this case, you know, I even look at my alma mater, what they did, and they shrunk the size of Martin Stadium, added a bunch of premium seating. And I think it's kind of a no-brainer when, from a financial standpoint, at least, if you take 1,000 seats out at, I don't know, whatever it works out to be, $20 a pop, because they have a tough time filling Albertson Stadium on some weekends. And so, you know, they push to great lengths to make sure those seats are sold. And now all of a sudden, as you just pointed out, they're going to add a bunch of premium seatings that they're going to even be able to, you know, benefit from in terms of revenue way, way more, 4 times, and more than that, actually. It was like 10 times more. So I think it's a good move. I think that it's going to help Boise State in terms of recruiting, in terms of maybe even getting more boosters, because there are a number of people out there that really just care about being comfortable and warm while they watch a football game, and being able to go get a beer when they want to get a beer and not, you know, miss half of a quarter. And this will allow for those opportunities. So I'm excited to see what it looks like when it's actually done. And as they continue to push forward on this thing, man.
And I would, like I said, try not to say too much, but I would just say the images that we saw yesterday that they said literally were returned to them within the last week are much more upgraded and polished than some of the ones that have been released. So the concept is basically the same, but some of the detail, and they've made some small changes. The overarching, you know, design is similar to what was in Don's thing, but some of the stuff on the upper level and just some of the design stuff that was kind of finalized is very impressive. Fans are really going to enjoy this. It's a game changer, I think. And as you said, Jay, I think 3 years in a row they told us that they've sold out the Stickle Sky Center. So they've had, you know, a waiting list basically to get a suite in the Sky Center already. So they feel like they're going to be able to fill this and generate some revenue. And don't forget, this includes a training table area for all athletes to have meals. Some of the interior and stuff is being designed where it can be used for weddings and, you know, other events and parties throughout the year. So they're going to raise some money from this, and they're going to help all student athletes with this. And I think it's going to be a pretty cool deal. So excited to see that come. And again, it could be that they're close. I'll just say that. So folks that are still skeptical about this project, like, they wouldn't have brought us in for 90 minutes yesterday and gone through this presentation if it wasn't, you know, continuing to progress, I guess is what I'll say. So stay tuned for that. Big news coming on the North End Zone project. And again, the goal is to start construction right after this season. And then they won't have any kind of seating for the 2025 season in the North End Zone. And then think kind of Oregon State, I guess, when Boise State played them and half their stadium couldn't be used. And then they'll be ready to go for 2026. That is the goal. All right, we're continuing our countdown. Now we had number 25 yesterday, Jay. We were talking about the tight ends and Matt Lauder. We're moving to the backup running back spot today. Breezy, Dubar and Sire Gaines is number 24 on our list. What should be expected of them? And we'll get to that in just a second. But first, we want to thank a couple of our great sponsors here at Bronco Nation News. Cutwater Spirits, more than 35 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails. Pick one up at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, highly recommend the Long Island, the margaritas, the pina coladas. Perfect for your next game day tailgate. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. Whether it's concrete coatings, whether it's interior, exterior residential painting, industrial, commercial, all your painting needs, make sure you use our title sponsor. Tell them BNN sent you, rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union, Brent Cotter's helping me with my home mortgage at our new house. He's doing a tremendous job. We appreciate Brent and the ICCU staff. They've been on top of the process every step of the way. So you may think of ICCU kind of for just regular banking needs, but if you need a mortgage or a car loan, whatever, Idaho Central Credit Union can help you out. Make sure you check them out, iccu.com. Bauscher Real Estate, speaking of buying or selling a home, best in the business. I'm seeing that firsthand. Number one ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley for a reason. BauscherRealEstate.com, 243-8222. Matt, Kelly, Cade, the whole crew there. Sarah, they're ready to help you out. So don't wait any longer. Any home, no big is too small. No home is too big or too small. Check them out at BauscherRealEstate.com. Lithia Ford of Boise. Check them out, LithiaFordBoise.com. View their full inventory of vehicles, and they got some great deals going on right now. They just finished up that 72-hour sale, but still have some great deals going on. Check them out, LithiaFordBoise.com. And again, you'll have several Boise State football players coming out on NIL deals to the golf tournament, to the event next Thursday. Ahmed Hassanin will be there. We mentioned Matt Lauder. He will be there. Andrew Simpson. So you want to see those guys and get a picture or get a signed football, you got to come out next Thursday to that event and give me an email, rains@bronconationnews.com, if you want to come meet some of those guys. Spencer Danielson will be there as well. Again, that is at Lithia Ford Boise. Taco Bell, the SON Management Group, the Nicolason family. We appreciate Taco Bell and their support of Bronco Nation News. Make sure you check out Taco Bell for your next meal. And they're hiring as well. So if you need a job, get more information at TacoBellWorks.com. The Blue and Orange Store, blueandorangestore.com. We appreciate Travis Hawks and company. If you need any Boise State gear, the NIL shirts, the Heisman shirts, you name it, they got it all at the Blue and Orange Store. Second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall there, or you can just go next to Pro Image, or you can go online. You get free shipping any order up to $40 at theblueandorangestore.com. Ridley's Family Markets, 13 locations across the state of Idaho. Check yours at shopridleys.com. And again, Cuna, Middleton, all the surrounding Treasure Valley locations. Highly recommend them. You can save 40% off again at that app. Get more information at shopridleys.com. And if you need a job, TCS, Transportation Compliance Service, can help you out every step of the way to get into the trucking industry. Transportation Compliance Service. Again, all the DOT overweight permits, everything you need to get out there towing that first load in no time. Let the professionals handle it for you. If you've never considered a career in the trucking industry, maybe give it a thought and let the folks at Transportation Compliance Service help you out. Okay, we went through all the ads there, Jay, because we got to end the show a little bit sooner today. Got some stuff going on. But we want to, we still got 10, 15 minutes, and I wanted to make sure we could get to the question on our list today, number 24, Sire Gaines and Breezy Dubar. I do have a clip from Spencer Danielson from the spring game. I have a clip from Breezy Dubar as well when I had a chance to catch up with him during spring ball. But just your thoughts. This is question 24 in our countdown. What should be expected of Breezy Dubar and Sire Gaines?
I think I don't think there are many, programs in the country that wouldn't trade their backfield situation for Boise State's right now. Obviously, it's headlined by Ashton Jeanty, but the future after him is very promising with, guys like Breezy Dubar and Sire Gaines. I just think that they have one of the deepest, most talented backfields really in the country. And, I'm pretty much in awe of the fact that they found a way to even improve the competition there, because Sire Gaines is the real deal, man. Everybody you hear talk about this kid, he is the real deal. His work ethic is like a fifth-year senior coming in. Like he works hard. He's put himself in a great position. And I mean, we already know what Breezy Dubar can do. Guy's got top end speed. He's tough to catch when he hits it. So, I think that they have a really, really, really promising backfield. That's the envy of the Mountain West, certainly, but for most programs in the country, for that matter.
What do you mean? I mean, is it clear that Breezy Dubar is going to be RB2, or do you think Sire Gaines is going to push for that? And I mean, you look at what Breezy Dubar did last year as a true freshman. He was, again, essentially RB3 behind Helani and Jeanty. I mean, he still rushed for 335 yards on 62 carries. I mean, are we expecting, I know Ashton Jeanty is going to get the bulk of the workload here. Do you think Dubar and Gaines kind of split carries? As one get, the lion's share of the work? Or when you think about what George Helani did and all those carries being available right now, I mean, Jeanty will take some of those, certainly, but some of those will get dispersed. I mean, you're going to have more than 62 carries for the combination of Gaines and Dubar. What's your initial thoughts on kind of how they divvy up those carries?
Well, first off, I'm just going to say I think there's room for all three of them to significantly impact each and every Saturday next fall. I think this team is going to be, and I'm not saying that they're not going to throw the football. Don't get me wrong here, but I do think that their identity is going to be the run game, and then building off the run game through play action, which is an area that Dirk Cutter specifically really thrives in, building off of that play action. So I think there's certainly room that all three can that all three can contribute each and every Saturday next season. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion of RB2 right now. Like, yes, I do believe that Breezy Dubar is the leader in the clubhouse, but you just hear about what Sire Gaines has done and how competitive he is, how hard he works. And so, that he's going to push Breezy and, to some degree, even Ashton. Like, I'm not saying he's taking carries from Ashton, but his attitude and his work ethic, again, you don't hear it from one person. You don't hear it from one coach. You don't hear it from one player. You hear it from every single person across the platform that you talk to about Sire Gaines. And so you heard many of the same things about Breezy last year. It was the reason why he was able to play so early. You look at 62 carries, 332 yards, as you mentioned, BJ, as a true freshman last year. Like, I can't wait to see how much better Breezy is going to be from year one to year two, because I think he's going to make a massive jump. They just have a really, really talented backfield, and I can't wait to see how those guys continue to evolve and push each other.
After the spring game back on April 20th, Spencer Danielson asked initially about Sire Gaines, but he talks about Breezy Dubar as well.
Speak very highly of Sire Gaines. I mean, once again, a young man that got here 4 months ago, early enrollee, should still be in high school, and seeing him come out here, work his tail off from where he was practice one to where he was and how he performed in these scrimmages, not only just the spring game, how he performed in the scrimmage last week. Very excited about Sire Gaines, because I know the type of mentality he has, because he's proven it to us coaches and his teammates. No one's going to outwork him. His success matters more to him than anybody else. So where everybody saw him here in the spring game, he will continue to develop over the summertime, and we're going to count him in a major way. And not only just on offense, he's doing a great job on special teams too. He's going to be starting on a good amount of special teams.
I know it's only April, but has he done enough to show you that he's ready to get time in a game this season?
Yeah, obviously there's still a lot of time to develop. Right now, just like we talked about in the spring, we use a seating chart. There's no, okay, this is the depth chart, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. It's still a seating chart, because there's still a lot of development and change that needs to happen. By the time we get to fall camp, now those things will be a little bit more solidified, but even going into fall camp, it's going to be who wants this thing. And I want across the board, on offense, on defense, and all 4 special teams, if I'm a number 2, I am coming for the guy in front of me. I'm going to find a way to outwork him, find a way to take that spot. And if I'm the number 1, I'm trying to be the best in the country. That's what makes everybody better. So to say right now exactly where we see him in regards to the season, there's still a lot of development that needs to happen. But knowing him, I know he's going to take full advantage of it. So we're going to be counting on him in a big time way. But I mean, Breezy had a great spring too. I mean, you talk about a young man that has a second gear. I mean, he could put his foot in the ground. I mean, he's one of the fastest guys on that entire field, if not the fastest. He can put his foot in the ground and go, and he can bang his head on the goalpost if there's any sort of air. So proud of how Breezy had a spring ball too.
Breezy Dubar, Sire Gaines, nice problem for Spencer Danielson to have. BSU Bill saying Breezy's the home run hitter, Sire more of the Genty every down back prototype. Regardless, will be just fine when Genty leaves next year.
I mean, I don't know if I'm ready to go there yet. Genty's special, man. Genty is special. Not to say those other guys can't, but we got to live in the moment with Ashton Genty carrying the rock for the Boise State football team. I think the thing there that even Spencer said that there were they have some differences, right? Like they're not exactly similar or they don't have the exact same set of skills. And for Ashton, that dude can break tackles, as we've seen, one of the best in the country in that area last year. And so a lot of his yards come after contact. And I'm sure, I mean, I guess Breezy could be the same way, because if he breaks one, then he might be gone. Yeah. So there are different attributes that you can play to. And, BJ, last year going into the season, we thought we would see Ashton Genty and George Holani on the field quite a bit. And early season injury prevented that from happening. They're so deep at that position now that, let's not forget, Tyler Crow is still somewhat involved in that backfield, listed more as a fullback now, but they do have some depth beyond the really talented top 3 that we've just talked about. Ethan Makita as a walk-on getting back, but I'm telling you, he's a guy that can even help out at times and might even be able to fill Tyler Crow's role when he leaves. They have some other guys in that room that are also very good. Caden Dudley, excuse me, gosh. He was great on kickoff return last year. He can catch the ball a little bit. Like there are just going to be ways where they can get both of those guys involved. And it was fun. Even going back last year now, gosh, there was a game on the blue where they used Caden Dudley as a motion man, and he was the guy that actually kind of opened up a lot of the big plays that happened for Boise State in that game. So, there have got to be ways they can get creative and utilize both those dudes or two guys on the field at the same time.
Yeah, that's what BSU Bill says. Expect a lot of formations with those guys out there. Max Mason says run game can open up some huge throwing opportunities. This is exciting. Ashton Genty's going to catch a lot of balls too. Let's see. Sky Ship says Breezy's going to hit a home run against Georgia Southern. Big year loading for him. Speaking of Breezy Dubar, the whole interview is available on YouTube. We don't have time to play that, but I wanted to play just a minute or so here of Breezy Dubar. Had a chance to catch up with him during spring practice.
Just learning a lot of like new stuff. Coach Cutter came, it's like the new scheme. I mean, same scheme pretty much, so ain't nothing really new. Right now I'm taking some blue reps and orange reps, so I'm just like trying to learn like from Ashton and all that. And like you could, I'm also learning from like Sire, like the younger guys, like how they move and all that too. So it's pretty cool.
With they said they weren't going to put too much weight on Ashton this spring too, so you're probably getting a ton of extra reps this spring. What's that experience been like for you?
Yeah, I mean this is like learning like a lot, like just like seeing like how George and Ashton, like how they took like a lot of load last year. It's like I'm getting like a good look on it, so it's pretty nice.
I know I talked to you.
Reps.
Sorry, I talked to you after the championship game, but I mean, just that last year, getting a chance as a true freshman to get your feet wet a little bit and get some action and just get a fall under your belt. I mean, how much more comfortable, confident do you feel right now in the spring going into year two?
I feel way better. Like last year, I was like a freshman, so I was like just like kind of scared and like confused. But like now, I'm like trying to get like a better grip of it. So yeah,
kind of scared and confused. Was a guy that still rushed for 335 yards there, Jay Tust. Breezy Dubar saying he was scared and confused last year as a freshman. We see it a lot of times, man, and Boise State has a history of these guys where they come in as a freshman and then they kind of take over, and obviously he's not RB1 yet, but I think we saw enough in those 62 carries that a year developed, that speed of the game slowing down a little for him, everything in year two. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about Sire Gaines, and rightfully so, but I think Breezy Dubar has got a chance to really be a key part of this backfield as well.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't run scared and confused. I think we can all agree upon that. I really do think the future's so bright for him, and when we get the chance to talk to him, he just seems like such a good kid, and he's learning from a couple of the best to ever do it at Boise State. I mean, to sit behind George Halani, humble George Halani, and learn from him and his toughness and the adversity that he always constantly had to overcome. And a lot of it, he couldn't even control, but still had to battle back from it. And then you have Ashton Genty, who is, as we've seen, one of, if not the most talented running back in the country, and you get a front row seat to those guys as you wait to take over for them one day. You can only imagine that's got to be great for them. And I just think that when it comes to year two for Breezy Dubar, the game is unbelievably faster at the college level than it is at the high school level. You have to know so much more in terms of the playbook. And so now that he has had that year to marinate in this program and all of that, I said it a little bit earlier, but I expect Breezy to take another big step in his career and us to see the best version of him here in a couple of months once fall camp kicks off. BSU
Bill's asking about the YouTube. He says he can't find the interview. I'll check. If not, I'll get it posted later today. Maybe it was one of those ones that I put on the show. I know we aired it on a show, I believe, earlier. So
BSU Bill's on and not even waiting for the show to get over.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know if that's good or bad that he's wanting to not listen to us and listen to the rest of the interview. But we will get that posted if it's not posted already later today. Jay, tomorrow's question, I'm just going to give you 10 seconds to give a quick thought. Tomorrow's question is about James Ferguson Reynolds, and John Mallory will be my guest to talk about this. What would you put the percentages out of 100? Maybe it's 0, maybe it's 100, maybe it's 50-50, but any chance and what chance James Ferguson Reynolds leaves early for the NFL draft?
Oh, man.
Is that a fair question to at least discuss?
It is. It has nothing to do with James Ferguson Reynolds. I just think it's really hard for a punter to put himself in such a stable position that he knows he's going to get drafted in a decent spot to leave early. And that's, again, if there's anybody that can, man, it's the guy that led the nation in punting average last year, certainly, but he's gonna have to have such a phenomenal season that he leaves it without a doubt that he's gonna get drafted, because you don't want to put yourself in a position where you leave a little too early and then it doesn't work out for you, because we've seen how much that kid grew from year one to year two. If he can do something even remote even 50% of it. I don't even know, like from year 2 to year 3, it's going to be special. And so, a really, really talented kid. Can't wait to see him on the football field this fall. To leave early enough to get drafted, though, he is going to have a phenomenal year.
And I know Mike Prater kind of mentioned this on his show, and they were talking about it a couple weeks ago, and I happened to be listening. He's like, we could be talking come December, 2 Boise State players leaving early for the NFL draft.
And
Ashton Genty and the punter, James Ferguson Reynolds. I mean, we'll see what happens. Obviously, it's a ways down the road, but I guess the bigger discussion is just that James Ferguson Reynolds has a chance to prove himself again as one of the top punters in the country. And whether it's this year or next year, he's putting him, this upcoming year or 2 years from now, he's putting himself in position where he's probably going to get a chance to kick in the NFL, you would think, based on what he's doing. So John Mallory and I will discuss that tomorrow. We'll get a story posted here today on Dubar and Gaines. If you want to go back and read yesterday's on Matt Lauder and the tight ends, that is up and available as well. And again, we do have some spots left. If you want to come hang out and you can't golf next Thursday night, send me an email, rains@bronconationnews.com. We got some spots left for the happy hour at 6 to 8 p.m. Spencer Danielson, Leon Rice, some other coaches, players. Jay is going to be there, Prater, Johnny, the whole crew. Is going to be a lot of fun. You can kind of mingle, hang out with some of your favorite celebs and coaches and players. And then we do have about 3 or 4 foursomes left for the golf tournament on Friday as well. So if you're interested, and hey, Jay Tust still looking for a foursome. So you want Jay in your foursome, maybe pony up a little extra money for the Idaho Youth Sports Commission, and we'll see what we can make happen. So email me again for the pre-party event or the golf tournament, rains@bronconationnews.com. And that is a week from Thursday and Friday. Looking forward to that. Jay, appreciate you as always. A little shorter show today. I know we both got some stuff going on. Hope the family feels better. And we will be talking to you on Friday. Friday, we'll continue our countdown. We're also going to have James Reed join us. We will have the 4th member on Thursday from our 4th different country join us for a live interview. And then we'll kind of recap where we're at with the 4 players, some other cool initiatives we're going to announce they have going on, and kind of catch up with James Reed on Friday. But on Thursday, we'll announce that 4th player for the TBT team, and then catch up with their coach and general manager, James Reed, on Friday. So appreciate you, Jay. We'll talk to you on Friday. Thanks to all of the sponsors. Thanks to all the subscribers. Thanks to all you guys for commenting and watching. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News Live, Bronco Nation News.